Hey everybody, welcome to Workplace SOS. I'm Evan Marcus.
And I'm Tara Marcus.
Yes, we are married. We do run Dylan Marcus together. We
Yeah.
work together, and,
Yeah.
and we're married. And today we wanted to share something a little bit different with the Workplace SOS, and that's stuff that's happening in our family lives outside of work that affects what you're dealing with in the workplace.
And the topic for today is really both something Evan and I both have dealt with and are dealing with, and it's aging parents.
Yes, and anyone who's over 40, we deal with people a lot in the workplace, and it's amazing how many people are dealing with this issue. So we wanted to bring it to you. And the whole purpose of the Workplace SOS is to bring just practical advice that can help you deal with and alleviate stress and anxiety that you're experiencing in the workplace.
Yeah.
Even though in this case we're talking about something you're bringing to work, which again is just so common. So
Yes.
again, the topic for today is dealing with an aging parent. So
Yep.
Tara, what are some of the symptoms that people are experiencing?
I can tell you the ones that I experienced.
Yeah.
So my mom was in a nursing home, and so guilt, just feeling upset, angry that I couldn't take her out of there, just sadness, just a lot of different feelings.
I remember how often you'd come home and just say, Evan, it was gut-wrenching.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
physically
yeah.
gut-wrenching.
It was.
I think for a lot of people, we hear the terms we use as guilt. I wish
Yeah.
I could do more. I wish I didn't have to deal with this, like both sides of this. And the physical sensations people have are the classic headache,
Yeah.
tightness in the throat, agitation inside, feeling like like unsettled, like you
Yeah.
just can't get settled. And so these are common.
Yeah.
And what we, again, for new people that haven't been with us before, what we focus on are what we call mini mantras, because these are thought ideas. How do you change your thought? Because, so much of what we experience with anxiety is really coming from the thoughts that we're having. So
Yeah.
clearly, it's not like you're going to jettison and get rid of the
Yeah.
parent.
Well,
That's
you
not
can't
it.
change. You can't change the situation.
But-
So right now we're caring for your mom. I mean
Yes.
that's a daily situation.
So
in
we're going to
terms of-
focus on changing our thought and our perspective about it. And we're going to
Yeah.
offer you 3 of these kind of mindset mini mantras. And you can use all 3 of them. Find one that you feel most comfortable with. And the idea is to repeat them, to think about them in the situation, to deal with it. So,
Yeah,
Tara,
and you can download them too. That we have the mantra list. So in the link beneath the video, you can download them
get all of them.
and carry
But
them
we're going
for
to focus
yourself.
on
Yeah.
3 today. So
We're-
what's the
yeah.
first one?
So the first one is I think a really good one. It's called lower the standards for yourself.
Yes.
So I know for me, I had high standards of what I should be doing for my mom, and I always felt I was falling short,
Yes.
and it just was a constant state of, disappointment in myself. So this spot is lower the standards for yourself. You can't be Wonder Woman in every situation, every day, to everybody around you. Just lower your standards of that's good enough.
Yes, and
Yeah.
the reason it's so important with anxiety and stress is because when you're not meeting your standard, it creates tension inside, and it's
Yeah.
the tension which leads to what we feel as anxiety and stress. So when you lower your standards,
Yeah.
another part of that, what we're going to cheat a little bit, your performance improves. And so you feel better about yourself. You're more relaxed. You
Yeah.
feel good about what you're doing. So that's a great
Yeah.
phrase to keep telling yourself. Lower your standards for yourself. And the second one?
And the second one is called fearful temper. And,
Yeah.
and when I first learned of the 2 different types of temper and what fearful temper was, to me this was transformative. So, and you're really good at explaining that, Evan.
Yeah, so fearful temper is any form of you not living up to what we first said, the standard that you set for yourself. Any form of not good enough, I'm not measuring up, any of those kind of feelings and thoughts create or generate this, what we call fearful temper. And again, the important part of this is because temper, we learned, is what creates the tenseness which leads to the symptoms. So the temper is really the trigger here. And so in this case, it's fearful temper. I'm not
Yeah.
good enough. And
Yeah.
you don't realize that's actually creating
Yeah.
stress and anxiety within ourselves.
Yeah. And I know for me and my mom, what I had to tell myself was, well, my mom had to put her mom when it got too much in a nursing home. So that made me feel better.
Yes.
Like my mom didn't want to put her mom in a nursing home, but at some point she had to.
Right.
And, so I was doing with what my mom had to do for her mom, and that it didn't make it, it made it a little bit easier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, and the third one?
And the third one is it's average to be uncomfortable in an uncomfortable situation.
Right. And that clearly, it's not comfortable to have an aging parent that you have to deal with who's going through a tough time. It's both uncomfortable because we love them, and it's uncomfortable because it's a lot of extra work for a lot of us. And it's just average to be uncomfortable in an uncomfortable situation. Now, the reason this is so important is because when you start getting hard on yourself, why am I feeling uncomfortable? What you don't realize, you just made yourself more uncomfortable. So we're trying to find ways to change our thought patterns to create a greater sense of relaxation, calm within ourselves. So as simple as saying, you know, it is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That starts to turn that dimmer switch down and alleviate some of the stress.
And I know, like in the nursing home, you meet other caregivers, you know, daughters, sons, you know, husbands, wives that are coming in, and everybody's feeling it. And you just, it gives you a little bit, oh, I'm not alone.
Yes.
This is a hard situation, and it's not easy to get through.
Yes,
Yeah.
and again, you know, people are going to be understanding in the workplace. You know, it's average for these things that are happening in real life to affect us in the workplace. So let's repeat the three.
Yeah, so the three are, you know, if you're dealing with an aging parent, three things that you can tell yourself are, 1, lower your standards for yourself. 2, fearful temper, you know, stop judging yourself so harshly. And 3, it's average to be uncomfortable in an uncomfortable situation like this.
Yeah, so thanks for joining us. Again, I'm Evan Marcus.
And I'm Tara Marcus.
And thanks for joining us on Workplace SOS.